What is up, guys? We're Sauce Williams, aka TheSwolefessor, here to educate you on health, fitness, and social well-being. And right now on screen, you guys are seeing day 3, which is actually my secondary squat and bench volume focus day. And this is actually from week 2, just this past Saturday. This is actually the day that Amber and I got back from our honeymoon from Miami. We literally got off the plane, got home, ate, and then made our way to POD to get this training session in. We were actually able to get all our sessions in while we were still over in Miami, so that's why we're on week 2 and everything's still on track. Now, despite the fact that this was the day that we had just gotten back and getting off the plane after being on the plane for half the day, this day actually felt really, really good, especially compared to this day on week 1, which you guys didn't see because I just didn't record that for you guys. But it was pretty bad. I only ended up working up to 308 pounds for my top set of 8 at RPE 7 on this day last week. So on this day, as you guys are seeing on screen right now, I ended up working up to 341 pounds for my top set of 7 at the same RPE. Now, even though it's only a 1 rep difference, that's a 33 pound difference in weight. And usually you guys know that I wouldn't make that big of a jump to either go up in RPE or to increase intensity by just going down 1 rep. But the fact of the matter is, I was feeling a lot better on this day, mainly because last week was just feeling particularly crappy. It was literally the week right after my meet, and it was the week leading up into my wedding. So I wasn't eating anywhere near enough. I was really going back and forth from training, client calls, and then doing things related to the wedding. So I was just feeling really trash. Whereas after coming out from my honeymoon on this day, I was feeling really, really good. So it's always important to keep in mind, guys, like that when it comes to RPE, as you guys already know, because I've talked to you about this before, it's not about chasing numbers. It is about, like auto-regulation, building up and taking what's there for that day. But even with that being said, there should be trends to what's there on specific days. That's why I think it's so important to actually use your past blocks as data. It has to go beyond just, okay, well, I know that I've hit this weight for this many reps at this RP before, so I'm gonna do that again. You have to go back and look at the blocks and look at the circumstances that were surrounding it. Was it a higher volume block? Was it an intensity block? What was going on in your life, both in and outside of the gym when you last hit that weight during that block? Because that's pretty much what I did. I took the time to look through my past blocks and see, okay, well, what have I hit for a set of 7 around this RP on high bar squats before? And after looking at it, I was like, okay, this is like, this was a block where fatigue wasn't like, too crazy high. It wasn't extremely low either, but it's kind of like somewhere in the middle. And, I was feeling pretty good, and I was able to hit around like, 330 pounds for a set of 7 at RPE like 6. So my mindset was, okay, I know I've gotten stronger since this block. This was a few blocks ago, obviously, and I'm definitely feeling a lot better this week than what I was the previous week. So even though the mindset is, okay, I'm going to build up and see what's there for the RPE, I still had an idea as far as a range of what I should be able to hit, given how I was feeling on this day, since I was comparing it to how I felt a few blocks ago when I last touched weight near that for the same reps at the same RPE. And that's really the proper way to use your past blocks, guys, is to know that it is data. There's no point in tracking everything that you're doing and recording everything that you're doing if you never take the time to actually go look back at it and see how everything's affected. But all in all, high bar squats felt really, really good. And the purpose of me doing them isn't any different than what it usually is. Still focusing on maintaining a tight upper back, an extended lower back, and it's just a way to give me a break from having to do low bar squats 3 times a week, so that way I'm not dealing with any type of overusage. After that, we of course went into high rep bench press. Now, this is actually like the highest reps that I've had to do on bench press in a long while. It might be the highest reps I've ever done since being coached by Brendan. I had a top set of 7 at RP6, which right here was 237 pounds, which, believe it or not, I think was some type of PR, especially at that RP. It still blows my mind to this day, like just how different my top end strength in terms of singles, doubles, even triples is from what I can do for rep work. But definitely planning on getting that rep work back up with these upcoming volume blocks, because you guys can see I have 2 back down sets of 9 with 12% of my top set weight. So doing sets of 9 is definitely something I'm having to get used to again on the bench press, just because I suck at rep work when it comes to the bench press. But like I said, this is the perfect time to be getting better at it. And the reality is a lot of people, when they see their volume work, they just look at it as something to kind of get through. For me, I view the volume work as not only like a time to be building a better base foundation off of whatever, intensity work we just did, but it's actually a time to like go for PRs. It's just a different type of PR. Rather than going for a PR that's like a brand new weight I've never touched. It's okay, I want to hit weight for reps that I've never touched before. I really want to push myself, and I actually try to motivate myself to enjoy the volume work because I understand how vital it is. I feel like oftentimes people are actually leaving pounds on the bar because they'll see the high reps, so they almost subconsciously make themselves go a little more conservative than what they really could be. Maybe their RP7s are actually closer to RP6s, or just because like they're confusing the fatigue of, oh, I'm just tired from doing multiple reps with, oh, I actually could have only gotten like, 2 or 3 more. So I really try to make sure that I don't have that issue when it comes to my volume work, just because I know how vital it is to actually go for like those volume PRs right now and hit numbers I never hit before. Because if you just, every time you go back to volume, if you're doing the same thing that you've been doing over and over in terms of, the same weight for the same reps that I was like the last macro cycle, the macro cycle before that, then you're not really building, you're not adding that workload, you're not doing the bare basics of progressively overloading over time, right? So that's something that I really tried to focus on. And then after that, you guys know that we just had the usual accessory work. I had flat dumbbell press, and my flat dumbbell press was actually only for one set of 10, just because, as I explained a couple videos ago, right now we're focusing on detraining me. So even though we're in a volume block, we're not pushing things as hard as what we usually would in terms of total sets, not on the big 3 or my accessory work. So that way, when we do start boosting it again with this upcoming block, I'll be able to really catch momentum off of, being detrained and going into training myself more and working with the higher volume. Then after that, we had belt squats for 3 sets of 14, which is the most I've ever done in terms of rep work on belt squats, and I was feeling it, especially after high bar squats. But hey, you already know your boy trying to get these little taller quads to be, young child quads. We just gotta do what we gotta do. And then after that, we had landmine presses. And right here, guys, this is all just about scapular control. I'm really focusing on protracting and reaching with my scapula at the top, and then letting my scapula fully retract on the way down. And this is just a really good movement. It really helps me feel healthy. It gives me a nice connection with my scapula, which helps me on all of my movements: squat, bench, and deadlift. And then after that, to finish off, just had a nice little superset. I believe what you guys are about to see is my last set of the superset, which is lateral raises for a set of 15, superset with tricep press downs for a set of 15. So I'm feeling really good, guys. I'm just happy to be feeling a lot better now that, the wedding stuff is all done. Not that I'm complaining about it. Very happy and very grateful to all of you who have taken the time to congratulate Amber and I. Those of you who follow us on Instagram were able to kind of experience a lot as far as the wedding and the honeymoon as well, and we appreciate all the love and support. But yeah, that's pretty much it from the voiceover. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video.
All right, what's up, guys? So I took you through my secondary bench and squat, aka my volume push day yesterday, or rather you just saw me take you through that. And now I'm gonna take you guys through my secondary deadlift day, which is my volume focused pull day. Now, on this day it's kind of interesting because it's pretty much just doing build-up sets to a top set on deadlifts, and then everything else is accessories, but it's high rep build-up sets. And on this day, I have the option of either doing hook grip or using straps just because it's such high reps. Now, even though for me, I'm thinking, okay, I probably want to go with the straps just because it's obviously going to be as painful on my thumb for doing hook for so many reps. The reality is I need to get better at doing the hook grip, so doing it for higher reps is going to be very beneficial to me. So I'm going to try to see if I can maintain the hook grip for as many build-ups as possible until I get to my top set, and maybe even do hook for my top set. But if not, then I'll go to straps. I honestly don't like the way straps feel because, one, I can't do my usual brace setup at the top, and two, it just feels different, especially if I wrap it too tight. Like, I don't want it to be so loose to where the straps aren't doing anything for me, but I don't want it to be so tight to where it's throwing off my position because, like, my hand is a lot, like, further down, closer to the bar than what it usually is. But anyway, I believe I have build-up set of, it's build-up sets of 6 or 7 to a top set of 6 or 7, like RP6, I want to say. You guys will see on screen. right now it's actually feeling really, really good. Even though I've only been pulling hook for 2 weeks, I have learned quite a bit in those 2 weeks, and I've been asking for tips from different people who I know pull hook. So before, I would always like, get my thumbs in position and just kind of wrap all my fingers around it. And all that pressure was hurting a lot. Not so much on my right hand, but a lot on my left, which makes sense because with my mixed grip, I'm left hand over, right hand under, and I feel like I've always got a little bit tighter on my right side because of that. So now that I'm like this, I'm having to learn to get tight on both sides equally, make sure I'm really packing the shoulders, so that way there's not this unequal distribution of tension where there's more pressure on one side than the other, which is what causes it to roll a little bit in my left hand, even with the hook. But on top of that, another tip that I've got is rather than wrapping all my fingers around, it's just the thumb, pointer finger, and middle finger. That's what I'm really like wrapping around. And the rest are just really pretty much there for support more than anything else. So I set my thumbs, wrap these two fingers around, and then the others are just there for support. So I'm not really feeling a whole lot of pain right now. In fact, I'm not feeling any pain, but because I feel like I'm also not gripping as tightly as I should be, and that's what's causing it to, like, my grip doesn't feel quite as good. Working up to 375 so far is really good, because usually by the time I get to that, I'm feeling pain, but I'm not feeling it right now. But I feel like I'm gonna try to do the top set of 6 hook. I'm gonna have to grip it a little bit tighter, which may cause a little bit more discomfort, but it kind of is what it is if that's what I'm gonna do. But we'll see, maybe I'll end up using the straps for the top anyway. Just gotta keep building up and go from there. All right, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and strap up. It just seems like right now, especially since it's my secondary day, but even my primary day, it seems like right now, like 3 reps is pretty much what I can manage for hook grip before the pain just becomes so much to where, like, one of the benefits of hook grip is, like, it's supposed to, like, help you not let go of the bar, right? Mind you, I never had grip issues with mixed grip. That's not why I'm doing it. You guys know I'm doing hook grip if you on the videos. But when it gets to the point where the pain just hurts so much to where I have to let the bar go anyway, it kind of defeats the purpose. So just gonna go ahead, put the straps on, deal with, like, the kind of awkwardness in my setup, and build up to a true, like, top set of 6 at RP6. So shout out to everybody watching who uses straps for all your pulling. Not really, I think that's whack, but shout out to you because I don't know how y'all do this, bro. It feels so awkward. I can't brace the way I want. The slack pull feels weird. It just makes it feel like a different movement to me. Maybe it's just because I don't use straps like this, so I'll just have to get used to, like, the right amount to, like I said, like, tighten it up, set up, everything like that. But, like, that did not feel good. Granted, it was still a lot better than last week. So mind you, last week, Amber and I were still in Miami for our honeymoon, and on this day, this was this day a week ago was the day that we flew in. So we only had like 3 hours of sleep, had 2 flights to get to Miami, and then we got a little bit of food, went to the gym, and 375 for my top set, I believe it was 7, felt hard or rough. You guys know, you've seen me hit, like, 440 for like a top set of 6 or 7, like the same RPE. So I'm happy that I was able to get at least 420 today. And I know that no matter what, I'm gonna be limited by something. If I go with the hook grip, the lows that I use are gonna be limited by the fact that I can only do hook grip for so many reps before it gives out on me. If I use the straps, it's the fact that I can't brace properly and get in my usual position. So that's gonna limit my load. But it's better, I guess, to go with the straps for right now on this day anyway, because getting those reps in is more important. Right now I'm in a detrained state, which is fine, because I'm building everything back up as far as my work capacity, and then we're gonna just catch momentum off of that going into the next upcoming vlogs. But yeah, that sucked. Anyway, next I've got accessories. My first accessory is I have 2 sets of wide grip RDLs, which right now I hate. I've only done them, it's only gonna be my second time doing them. They don't feel good, but I clearly can see the benefit, which I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about after I hit them. So with the wide grip RDLs, first of all, I'm getting a lot of the benefits of just a normal RDL, Romanian deadlift. You know, obviously getting work on the traps, the upper back, glutes, hamstrings, lower back. But with the wider grip, I feel the bar trying to pull me forward more. I feel like rather than like with a normal RDL where it's easy for me to keep my, you know, my back retracted, keep my shoulders packed tight, with a wider grip, I can feel the bar trying to like pull me more forward, pull my shoulders out of position. So I'm having to fight harder to keep my shoulders back and keep my back tight, which is something that I'm having to work on a lot with my sumo deadlift, putting my mind in my back. At this point, for the most part, except for with straps obviously, but like getting the slack out, driving into the ground and pressing to the ground, keep my hips open, all that's feeling a lot easier and more intuitive, especially with hook grip. But what I really have to make sure I'm focused on so that I'm not rounding is keeping my lower back extended and keeping that upper back as tight as possible. So the wide grip RDL is a variation that's forcing me to work on that. So you guys just saw me do tempo dumbbell seal row. So for all the rest of my accessories, all of them obviously going to have a benefit as far as like, you know, training the back, training the forearms, you know, the traditional hypertrophy effect you're going to get for doing pull work. But everything is modified just ever so slightly to emphasize grip strength a little bit more. Like I told you guys a couple videos ago, a lot of what I'm doing on this day is going to be emphasizing better grip strength, which will, of course will still help me with the hook grip, right? So with the dumbbell seal rows, the fact that they're at a tempo, it's 2 seconds up, 1 second pause, and 2 seconds down. So that way, as the weight progresses, not only is the weight getting heavier, but I'm having to hold the weight for longer due to it being a tempo, which is going to force me to work on my grip strength more. I have high rep single arm lat pull downs, so just doing those single arm lat pull downs and having to like keep a tight grip on focusing on scapular elevation and depression for high reps. Then I have heavier dumbbell hammer curls, but strict form, so I have to keep my form as strict as possible, grip the dumbbells as hard as possible in order to like, you know, do it for heavy sets of 8. And then I finish off with axle bar holds, which is pretty much just a really thick barbell that I'll be holding for a minute. I'm just gonna keep adding weight to it as long as I can hold it for a minute. When I can no longer hold it for a minute, that's when I'm done. And that's how you guys get stronger as far as your grip strength. Or like I said a video or two ago, heavy weighted pull-ups, heavy barbell rows, things where you're forced to like have a strong grip and hold the weight for longer. That's what's gonna really help you emphasize your grip strength training more than a lot of these silly little things that people come up with, you know, that you see on Instagram to increase their grip strength. held that for 31 seconds, guys. 31 seconds. I gotta get my grip strength up. New goal is to be able to do like a kilogram each side, 25 kilogram play each side for a full minute.
All right, guys, so back at the crib. Hope you guys enjoyed me taking you through that workout. At this point, you guys have seen 4 of my 5 training days. You've seen my primary SBD day. You've seen my secondary full body accessory day that goes, right after my SBD day. You've seen my secondary squat and bench focus day with, push volume accessory work from yesterday, which is also in this video, including this video. And then you just saw me do my day 4, which is my pull volume focus work with deadlift emphasis. So all that's pretty much left to show you guys is what my tertiary day setup is. You guys already know my tertiary day is the 3rd day of the week where I bench and squat. But once again, I'm going to take you through that day, show you the differences, and explain the why behind everything that I'm doing, just so that way as we go forward with these blocks, you kind of know like what we're doing. If there's a switch or transition, you'll know why we're making that switch or transition because you already know why we're doing what we're doing previously. You guys know how the workout videos go. But appreciate everyone's patience with me in terms of like the upload and stuff like that. It's always been a really big transition. I'm obviously very happy. I'm very happy with how week 2 is going. Week 1 was rough, man, with it being post meet, but then also like the week of my wedding, and I just wasn't eating enough. Like I got as low as like 158, like because I was just like doing all this back and forth, like okay, training, work, wedding stuff, all this kind of stuff. But I ate very good on my honeymoon. I woke up at like 165.9 this morning, so we're good on the weight. Like I told you guys before. Or maybe I haven't told you guys this. I think, I mentioned the meat video, but the plan is going to be to make sure that I'm like actually staying heavier a few pounds over my weight class and then just do water manipulation to get back down versus actually like having to diet back down to 163. So my goal is to kind of chill around like 168, maybe even push it to 170 and then just water manipulate from 168 back down to my weight class whenever it's time for nationals. So right now I'm just focusing on like building. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot better, way less fatigued than what I did last week, feeling strong. And I'm looking forward to like the challenges of this block, man. I love the new stuff, and I just love the fact that like like a lot of people when they see volume work and all these different variations they have to do, they're like, oh man, it's gonna be a lot. I just gotta get through it. But I look at it as like, this is a new challenge to get better at, to like progress in, hit some PRs in for like higher rep PRs and just like variation PRs, and it's all setting myself up, building this base so that I can bring the best version of myself on game day 15 weeks from now when it comes to nationals. So really excited about that. But anyway, yeah, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go leave a comment down below, let me know what you did. If you're not, leave a comment down below, let me know what I can do better. Like the video, share, subscribe. Keep it simple, specific, scientific. I'll catch you guys later.